We're getting set now for Dunlop Series, race number 2 of the weekend. To call the action, here's Aaron Noonan.
Thanks, Cromley. And this is race 2, so it's normally Murph a reverse top 10, but no Paul Umbrell, the winner from yesterday, not here for this race. So top 9 are reversed. In fact, I just saw Ash Walsh, who finished second in yesterday's race, only, half an hour ago. He only found out about half an hour ago about Paul Umbrell not racing. He nearly fell over when he was told that his championship rival is not on the grid.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that Ash Walsh doesn't want to take the lead of the championship by one of his rivals not being there through a business commitment that Paul's got. So it is a funny thing to hear that we've lost a competitor through that reason. Gary Jacobson will move into that spot on 10th position.
Yeah, so he doesn't get the inversion, though. He doesn't go to 10th and goes to pole. So the man who is Paul Morris, Sergeant Security Ford. Last won a Dunlop Series race in Townsville last year. Andre Heimgartner alongside, Ant Pedersen, the Kiwi, on row 3. Watch for Cameron Waters. Starts 4th. NZ Ford from Ford Performance Racing. Penalised yesterday. He's got a really fast race car. Can Ash Walsh find his way through from 9th on the grid? It's a long 38-lap race. Ooh. That's Dean Fiore at the back.
Walsh.
Look at Ash Walsh. He's
on the grass. He's touching back there too.
Oh.
The Eggleston Motorsport car. Gary Jacobson, I think, making contact with Aaron Russell. Zakanovic behind him.
But it's Heimgartner, Murph, who's got the jump, he's got the lead, and he's got a little margin on Paul Morris, who's got Ant Pedersen, the Kiwi, who is from the Eggleston team that Paul Umbrell drives for. They run 3 cars, but just 2 today.
Well, there was action yesterday between these two guys, Paul Morris and Andre Heimgartner. Heimgartner works for Paul Morris up in Queensland at the driving centre, and he put on a show. He taught the young fella a few lessons yesterday. It was a race-long battle between the two. As Jeff Emery looks down the inside a little bit further back, but they stream out of Cobb Corner. Just a beautiful part of the racetrack here, an awesome corner, one of the best in the country. Important to get the power down. As we see, down the inside, that's Dean Fiore having a look.
That's Jeff Emery trying to get a move on Frederick Lestrup, the Swede, in one of the R-Sport race engineering cars. But it's Heimgartner, Morris, Pedersen, Waters. Todd Hazelwood did a great job yesterday. He's only a young guy. Comes from an open-wheeler background. He won the Shannon Supercar Showdown last year. There's Dean Fiore, the former main game regular, who's an Nissan Endurance driver this year. He's joined for this weekend, but he's also going to be with us at the Castrol Townsville 500. That's the next round for the Dunlop Series. They don't go to Darwin. They will move to North Queensland for round 4 in July. So Heimgartner and Morris starting to clear away. The young New Zealander who we've seen in Porsche Carrera Cup here in Australia, races in New Zealand V8 Super Tours against your good self. He's a young emerging guy. He's actually a driver development signing. Whoa, right front was locked there, but he managed to pull it up. But 38 laps, not what you want to be doing so early. Fiore, he's got to run. That's Jack LeBrock in the silver number 10 car, normally driven by Taz Douglas for the Image team, but they've swapped rides this weekend. Taz is not racing. Jack's in this car. It's got a rearranged right rear on it now.
Yeah, Walsh is looking a bit pacey. He's also looking a little frustrated. Stuck now behind LeBrock. He needs to make some more places forward. He's got Chris Pither right behind him, putting pressure on. He's had a reasonable start, but now he's just been held up slightly. Fiore managed to make that move and has got a little bit of a gap. So Walsh will be looking to put a move here pretty quickly, as he does now into Cobb Corner. LeBrock gives a lot of room. This is going to give Pither the opportunity, but he touches.
Unloads him right in front of the field.
This will be lucky.
Gets out of the way. They'll all manage to get through. Here's a replay of the start, though, Murph, and Heimgartner just lights it up perfectly off the front row.
He got a good jump, and we've seen that a lot this weekend with the outside. Getting to the first corner first. He just, Paul Morris, a little bit too much wheel spin. You look at those Dunlops trying to get traction, and a shot from the back of the grid.
That's Andrew Jones down the back in the Freightliner car. Walsh on the grass as well.
Andrew Jones obviously had a bit of an issue today. Waters making a move here for 3rd position. He gets past. Oh!
Todd Hazelwood down the inside.
Wow, aggressive by Hazelwood.
And Pedersen now wants to cover off for the run to 1, and he manages to hang on. But here is the replay, Murph, of Walsh on LeBrock, but then Chris Pither trying to follow.
Yeah, and Chris Pither just ran wide. I'm pretty sure he just ran right with the front of the car. I mean, LeBrock was doing absolutely nothing wrong there. He gave racing room. He still had an overlap on the outside of Ash Walsh, and I think Chris Pither just trying to get in there and get the advantage. Just ran a little bit wide, gave the car a touch. as he was getting on the throttle, and that was enough to unload the back of the Falcon and turn LeBrock around. Really disappointing for him.
In the championship points, Dumbrell 678, Ash Walsh 644. So barring total disaster, he should take the series lead in this race. Cam Waters is third in the points, but he's trying to get second in this race. He's down the inside. He's got drive out of Cold Corner on Paul Morris, and this should be pretty much textbook.
Yeah, well, Paul Morris yesterday gave Andre Heimgartner a bit of a lesson on the crisscross here. Down under brakes. We'll see if he can get the nose back of the Sergeant security car underneath him. He can't. Waters' thing is hanging on too good, and he takes second spot. Now the challenge will be if he can catch him, but Hazelwood under pressure from Fiore. Walsh on the outside looking very ominous there for that position too, but Hazelwood driving good. But Fiore, I reckon he's going to have a little bit of a look here at Todd Hazelwood, who covers down the inside. Not close enough this time, although he gives him room. Or maybe went a bit wide, I'm not sure what happened there, but Hazelwood runs wide. This gives Fiore a very easy free pass. And will Walsh also benefit from this? He's up the inside right behind Fiore, he does so. So, interesting there. It looks like Hazelwood might have just decided I need to conserve and give these guys a run ahead. So, we'll see what happens now. Fiore's got some pace. He's going to now close up on Morris pretty quickly.
But it's Andre Heimgartner. He's controlling this one. Still a long way to go, but the Kiwi leads a cool 2 seconds back to Cam Waters. It's the Dunlop Series, and, well, this is one way to save on them. Aaron McGill, one of the perennial battlers and triers and privateers in this category. He always puts together a deal and gets himself on the grid. He's down the back at the moment, but flying high in one of the ex-Kelly Racing Commodores. All starts in this championship. This is drama. Cam Waters was running right at the front, P2, chasing Andre Heimgartner. The NZFPR Ford has stopped on the exit of pit straight.
No drive from Cam telling the pits.
To fourth, and it just made a massive noise, and yeah, no drive.
The first voice we heard was Dylan Talabani, who's engineering Cam Waters this year at FPR in the Dunlop Series. The second voice was Cam. He's done, he's out, and this will sting him in the series. Here was the chance to make up ground on Dumbrell. This guy, Ash Walsh, in the blue, black and red Infant's Friend Ford, stands to gain perfectly. Paul Dumbrell, the championship leader, is not racing today. Business commitments in Melbourne. The Queenslander stands to get a massive free kick from his two rivals.
And we just had a report that it is a gearbox issue. Here's the replay. Fiore just putting his nose in and giving Paul Morris a bit of a touch, which allowed Walsh also to come through. But the big news, yes, Cam Waters, here we go, replay of him coming out of the last turn. All of a sudden, he just slows immediately and pulls directly off to the side of the track. That is just tragic news for the young guy who had a horror start yesterday.
And just doing some sums too, Murph, with the way they run at the moment. Heimgartner is on target for his first Dunlop Series podium. His lap time that time was 61 seconds.
Walsh.
Fiore was wide.
And
Walsh is down the inside.
Wow, an opportunity there. Obviously, we saw a bit of smoke on the camera. And Fiore just obviously had a moment down there. Walsh pounced on that. And that has changed things around with the outright win for the weekend. Walsh now takes that lead, takes the advantage with 276 points as it stands. And Fiore drops in behind him in second. So one little mistake late in the race. Great job by Ash Walsh to be there and pounce.
And it's a turnaround. It's 150 for a win. It's 138 for second. Fiore really struggling there down at turn 6. It's 129 for third. So it's a real swing around. It's an 18-point swing around, that one manoeuvre. One goes up 9, one goes down 9. And that leaves us with this situation where Ash Walsh, who won the last round at Winton, has got 5 more laps to go. There's, if they finish right now, how the championship is. He will leapfrog into the lead. Cam Waters disappears from the leaderboard. Heimgartner sits in third. Remember, there's 300 points per weekend on the line, 150 per race, and there's only 7 rounds. This is the end of round 3, so it's not a long championship to fight back. You really need to stay in it the whole way.
Yeah, it makes it really tough for those guys that are dropping back through the field like Cam Waters. You know, real shame to see the young guy who is an extreme talent. He really is. FPR have recognised that, given him the opportunity, given him the help that these guys need to make it through into the big game.
We talked about Pertec Enduro Cup and Dean Fiore being with Nissan. Ash Walsh, he's got a gig. He's back with the Dick Johnson team. He'll be with Scott Pye Paul Morris in the background there. He'll be with Chaz Mostert in the Pepsi Max number 6 car.
Di Fiore, he's not looking like he's done. Oh, a bit of a touch there too.
Have a look at the way it was squirreling around. And if you're Walsh, you're fighting for the series. Dean Fiore's not. He's here for 1 or 2 weekends for the year.
You don't want to give a spot away, though.
Yeah, but you don't want to end up in the sand fighting for
don't.
something that you don't need to in the bigger picture.
I know, but he's a racer. I know he's got to think about their championship, but he's also, you know, desperate to keep that position, desperate to win the round. There's a lot at stake here. Di Fiore, he's not going to do anything silly either. He knows that he's not in this championship. He's not going to ruin some guy who's working really hard to win the whole thing outright. He's not going to ruin that guy's day. He's a smart guy.
And Walsh, runner-up in the series last year to Dale Wood. Ash won the round here last year. It was his breakthrough round victory. Some lap traffic here. Brett Stewart to attend to in the black and white Commodore. Andrew Jones down the inside on Chris Pither. These are the 2 cars from Brad Jones Racing in Albury. 4 to go this time by. Heimgartner leads by 3.3 seconds back to Ash Walsh as Jones now moves through to 6th.
Oh, and Pither gets the crossover. I think he's got the overlap back down the inside. No, not quite. The 2 teammates. I'm picking Brad Jones is sitting in the garage right now with his hand over his eyes watching this happen.
Is it like the day at Malala when he got the lap count wrong? Remember that?
I don't think he put his hand over his eyes. And he probably doesn't want to hear about that again either.
That's why I said it.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up.
There's Ash Walsh, P2. Heimgartner's got this one in control. 3 to go. Longer races this year for the Dunlop Series. Gives the drivers a chance to, for the younger drivers too, to learn what these cars are like over the long runs, how to adjust them on the run. Work with the anti-roll bar adjustments that they have in these cars, which aren't in the modern era V8 Supercars Championship machines.
Andrew Jones will have the next target in sight. Todd Hazelwood will see if he can withstand the pressure from the Freightliner Commodore, which has been storming all the way through this race from the back of the grid. It has been a very good drive by Andrew Jones.
But Hazelwood's put up with all the pressure that he's had so far. Pither had a little bit of a go at him earlier on.
Heimgartner, though, still 3.3 seconds, 3.4 seconds in the lead. I think he's got this one under control. Ash Walsh running in 2nd spot, managed to get that pass on Dean Fiore for possibly the win of the round. But there's our leader. Only a couple of laps to go. He's driven very well, very controlled to manage this one. Had the pressure taken off him when Cam Waters had a mechanical failure a number of laps ago. The battle's been behind, and it has been going all the way through. These cars still in close proximity, really, for the length of the race.
It's really been an arm wrestle, hasn't it? No one's fallen off the cliff in terms of tyres, but it's been tight, it's been keenly contested, it's been high-pressure stuff, and that's exactly what all of these guys want for the various reasons. Last lap now, whether you're an experienced guy getting your eye in for the Enduros, a young guy proving what you can do and making a name for yourself. Everyone's got a different reason for being here, but they've all landed in the same spot on the road at the same time. Talk to me about this guy, Andre Heimgartner. I said yesterday he hadn't quite broken through. He gets the grid inversion. He goes to the front row for this race. His car's fast enough. The rest are in the pack, and he's not really been troubled.
No, he hasn't been troubled. And Andre, you know, he's been doing a lot of miles. He's a guy that's very committed to his racing. Just hasn't seemed to be able to, you know, take that next step that we thought that he was going to take right now. So this is great for his confidence. A little bit of success goes a long way as we see him coming down now the last corner. Andrew Jones, the last shot we saw, putting that pressure on Hazelwood. But Andre Heimgartner has led from start to finish, and he will take out race 2 here at Barbagallo Raceway.
It's a win to the Finance Easy Ford. It's a Matthew White's team. It's a win too for Ash Walsh. Have a look at the fight in the background. Walsh is 2nd in the race. He wins his 2nd consecutive round, and he walks away. He'll get on the plane and go back to Queensland with a really nice points margin. But well done, Andre Heimgartner. The 2nd race win of his short Dunlop Series career. Development driver for Dick Johnson Racing, and he will stand on the podium. He'll be 3rd for the weekend. Fiore 3rd. He is the runner-up overall across the course of the 2 races. Morrison, Hazelwood next. So well done, Todd Hazelwood. A couple of top fives for the weekend. Andrew Jones, a storming drive, 22nd to 6th. Pither, Russell, Ant Pedersen, and Morgan Haber, well done too. 23rd, he got to 10th at the end of 38 laps. Brianna Crean is with our race winner after that 38-lapper.
Congratulations, Andre Heimgartner, your second victory in the Dunlop Series. There was plenty of action happening behind you, but you had smooth sailing from the start.
Yeah, managed to get a good start and managed to put down some solid laps at the start and get a bit of a gap. I was a bit worried with Waters chasing me down there a bit, but unfortunate whatever happened to him. But, yeah, it's good to take the win.
And also third for the round, so you get to spray some champagne. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ash Walsh, what a round win for you, and also that important championship as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the way that I wanted to get the championship with PD going home overnight, but, you know, I'll take the points, and that was a really hard-fought race. So, yeah, I'm really proud to come back and get another win at Barbagallo. I really love this track.
The man who wins the weekend is Ash Walsh. He won here last year, so back-to-back at Barbagallo. Dean Fiore, that little slip-up in the second race cost him a spot. It cost him the round win, but he's still second in his Dunlop Series debut and his return to racing. Race winner yesterday, Paul Dumbrell, 10th for the weekend. He did not start today. He has lost the series lead. Let's head to the podium now. Here's Mark Beretta.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 Round 3 Dunlop Series winners.
Thanks, Barretts. Well, it's 2 in a row in Perth for Ash Walsh. It's 2 in a row in 2014, and that is the way the points look. 104 clear of Paul Dumbrell. Andre Heimgartner on the podium, and top 3 now in points. Chris Pither rounds out the top 4. Time for some champagne. I'm Aaron Noonan. Thanks to Greg Murphy and the whole team. We'll see you when the Dunlop Series heads to Townsville at the Castrol Townsville 500.